incredible catalog. I know that's kind of a segue into where we're going, but you said a few things, praising LL and his catalog because you had the honor of, going through and being able to pick 20 LL records. What were some of the things that, you came across when going through LL's catalog?
Well, a few things. So, we just had a whole talk about L and Cool G Rap and all these guys during in reference to just to the Kane and the KRS verses, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so a lot of people were upset when I left L out of my top five in terms of lyricists. Well, Mike, like I stand here today and I tell you, well, like in terms of like lyricists, he may have like been right outside my top five for me personally from that era. But as far as songs, though, Mike,
Well,
you
do
know
you
what I'm
still
saying?
stand on the fact that you think him and Slick Rick should do a versus, or think that's a wrap?
That's a wrap for Slick.
Okay.
Because what I was about to say is I think he would beat Kane with this, and he would probably beat KRS with this. And
Well,
so, in terms of like his overall hit making and song making ability, oh, he's the best guy from his era in terms of that. If we're talking about the like making a song and making a hit record, and Mike, and it's like you said, if we're talking about a hit catalog, like the strength of the hits,
right.
I don't know if there's anybody that necessarily has this many classic hits.
Does Jay Z have something that would go against Rock the Bells?
That's what I'm saying. No, Mike.
Yeah,
That's epic.
it is.
But that's against anybody. And so like lyrically, I don't think he's the best from his era. But when I went through his catalog and I listened to his songs, it's like what I saw was probably the best full songwriter of his era,
Oh,
if that makes
definitely.
sense. You know
And
what I'm
we
saying?
talk
And
about hit records.
which Mike,
It's
which is actually funny because he precedes everybody actually, and he's like the best songwriter, and it kind of shows in the quality of the hits more than anything else.
and I
Which,
can I think in a
which
couple
is what he.
shows back or a few months back, not to interrupt you, I
No,
maybe
go ahead.
misspoke when it came to saying that Nelly is the best pure hit maker in hip hop, and you said LL, and we got to give it to LL. I mean, he created the solo superstar in hip hop.
So Mike, here's what I mean about like how classic the hits are. I kind of knew about. I'd say, Mike, I knew about 13 of these records that were going on here beforehand, off the top of my head,
Right.
and so I was going through his catalog to pick the other records, and I still couldn't stop listening to these records anyway. I was like, oh, it's right there. I need to hear
The
it.
challenge for somebody like a LL and Jay Z is the fact that what records are you gonna pick? When I was going through Busta's catalog, and I'm a huge Busta fan. I love ELE. I love The Coming. Shit, I think When Disaster Strikes is super dope too. I think his first three, as an MC, he just broke through in a way that I had never heard, and he was able to make some hits too.
Mhm.
On top of that, but when it comes to Busta, it's like I knew what songs to go to, and I know you were saying a few things about some LL songs you left out, like Jack the Ripper's not on there. That's one of my favorite LL records. We talk about the breakthrough. That definitely couldn't make his 20. He has too many important records.
Mhm.
You know, two of these two guys are some of the best rapping guys on hip hop records. I put Biggie in that fold too. Um, One of the guys that I feel like no one really mentions when it comes to that, because he was in a group, Tretch really rapped very hard on hit records. I was just sitting back and listening to Naughty by Nature's catalog. Like, these are some big songs. This guy was spitting on
Hey,
hits records. He
Tretch
wasn't
is
he wasn't
really
toning it down or nothing.
Mike. Tretch is really, really underrated as an MC
Cause he was in a group.
lyrically
Yeah.
on their hits were almost too crossover to the point that it was detrimental to his MC status. You feel
No.
what I'm saying?
I mean,
Like
even
hip
like
hop
songs like
array,
Feel Me
like when you
Flow.
listen, when
Yeah.
you look. Oh, Mike, Feel Me Flow
You
is
about
a
to feel the
lyrical.
chronicles of a bionicle lyrically spitting, just missing. I'm on a mission and just hitting. Like you rapping on
Mike,
a hit record like this. It's
Mike,
like
like lyrically, like Feel Me Flow is actually like a tour de force of a lyrical rap performance, and it's a hit record. And lyrically, it's like you said, Mike. It's
and
yeah,
when they
treacherous,
didn't try to make a hit record like Craziest or something, those are just some hard ass songs.
craziest, Uptown Anthem.
Uptown
Yeah,
Anthem is hard. Yeah, that's not
yeah,
them trying
all
to
that
make a
shit.
hit. Like OPP, this nigga is spitting on that, man. Like,
Yeah, he's spitting game too. Like he's
yeah.
spitting lyrically and he's spitting game.
Hip Hop Parade, he's spitting, man. You put your heart in the part of a part to express a part. Like, what? Yeah, I don't think that, I don't want to jump out the window here, but I don't think there's anybody that raps harder on hit records than Tretch. Like you could hear Jay tone it down on hits, right? You could hear Nas tone it down on hits. Biggie rapped hard on hit records too. I give Biggie that.
Biggie's flow is just so more versatile and agile than Tretch's, but in terms of content and subject matter, very comparable in terms of not holding anything back.
Right. I think. Do
Mhm.
you think L toned it down on hit records a little bit?
No, see, this is what I mean. I don't know if L toned it down. I think L is a songwriter who sets a tone. That's what's great about him as
So
a
his tone
songwriter.
is the hit records.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's the tone that he sets. You know what I mean? It's like, well, I feel like giving it to you rough and rugged. So it's like we're gonna do Rock the Bells. It's like, oh well, I want to smooth it out, so we're gonna do Hey Lover. Oh, like well, I want to do some posse cut rap shit, so we're gonna do I Shot You remix. You feel what I'm saying?
Well,
It's
I
like he
feel
kind of
I
sets
heard
the tone.
I heard Russell Simmons in an interview. It might have been when he was doing his Vlad interview, but he said that they made it a point, and this is early on because there really was no blueprint at that point. It made a point to if they had a real big hit record on the A side, they wanted to have just that big of a street record on the B side when it came to L. And I guess L just kept that whole rhythm going, through the strongest parts of his career. And he kind of never let go of that. And I'm sure you probably exhibited some of this in the songs that you chose, especially, I think I'm pretty sure you chose I Shot You. Where do you think, and again, this is kind of problematic when it comes to the I Shot You. Are you doing the remix or are you doing the regular one?
I'm doing the remix
He's
because this is
stronger
the
on the regular one, though.
okay. So what I was about to say is that I thought about that too. He is stronger on the regular one, but because this is a versus, you could still bring out
I
Keith
got you.
Murray,
I got you.
Fat Joe, and Foxy. I mean, Prodigy's not here, of course, but you get what I'm saying. So that's more impact and effect to do that. But if he was smart, he would actually
Fat
do
Joe's at
his.
every verses, so yeah, he's gonna be.
But Mike, but to what you're saying, and I had that same thought. If he was smart, he would actually do his best verse from I Shot You, the
Right.
original version with the hook, and then have them come out to the remix after he did one of those verses. So I agree with you on that.
I agree with that. I think that would be very, very powerful. Like
But to me, that's more performance and setup. That's why I just put I Shot Your remix down. But my sentiments are the same as yours in that regard.
he was going to Pac on I Shot You, the original, I believe. I don't know. That's what I've been told. Kind of sounds like that. When you think about it, or when you break down the lyrics, because he was welcoming someone to a battle. Hold up, man. I want to pull up the lyrics. I know we got 40 people in the room. We might as well get started. So
But hold
I
on, I
really
want to
want
say
to
one
break
last
down.
thing.
We could do that in a later show.
Right, we can do that later. Show. I want to say one last thing before I get started too. I think
Hmm.
another thing that gets understated about L is
Hmm.
his output in his prime. In 10 years, he released 6 albums.
People weren't doing that.
85 to 95, 6 albums, 6 full albums, like all with at least like I think the first album is the only one with less than like 13, 14 songs. And I think that has like 13.
All right, well, we're gonna go ahead and get started, man. We got some people in the room. Shout out to everybody in the room. Want y'all to like, comment, and share the video too. Subscribe to According to Hip Hop channel. Hit the bell icon, so you can know when we're going live, all that stuff.